Howdy, folks. It is I, the Solo Gamer, and today we are back to do some more retro stuff. And as it turns out, I picked up some new items for my retro collection recently. What can I say? Just can't help myself. Actually, bring out storage, as crazy as that is. But anyway. I've picked up a trio of new Super Nintendo games and a couple of really unique PlayStation 1 fighting games. One that's fairly well known, the other that I guarantee is probably not. But for starters, we're going to hit up some Super Nintendo goodness. One of the all-time classics and one of the very first games I ever played on, although not the first, we'll get to that later. Gradius 3. The nostalgia's hitting already. This, my fellow gamers, is one of the original, all-time great shoot-'em-ups. Gradius 3. Now, if this game looks familiar, or similar, it's because it's part of a long-running series, which included, but is not limited to, the Parodius series, and the Parodius series was a parody of this game and its contemporaries. Now, the Parodius series would become legendary over time for its humor, but this series was legendary for a different reason: its bloody difficulty. It was also one of the first times in the video game history that Konami pulled a prank on gamers. If you tried to use the Konami code, the original Konami code, you would gain superpower for a few moments and then immediately have all the power stripped from you because they immediately took it from you by killing you. It was an intentional trick. And to be fair, it was kind of funny, but there was actually a super code. It was a variation on the Konami code that was eventually discovered that did give you, like, limitless power. Unfortunately, this game was hard as fucking balls, and it has been maybe at least a decade since I played this, if not probably more. Now, that being said, Gradius was always hard. Like, anyone who's played the game will tell you it was never easy. And later Gradius games would change that by having more varied difficulty levels. Like, this does have an easy mode. That's what I wanted without making it work. Now we're talking. This game also was one of the earliest games to push the Super Nintendo to just insane limits. Like, it was a game that pushed the Super Nintendo to much greater levels than it had previously. But it was exceptionally difficult. And what was worse is because you didn't keep any of your power-ups, if you got killed, you had to scramble just to get back in the game. Now, I've seen 1cc playthroughs online. There's a Twitter handle, Super Sissy, who does retro gaming stuff. She's amazing. Like, I wouldn't be half as good as she is. Even in my prime, and I was good, but even in my prime, I was never this good. Like, I was good, but I was never that good. But you'll notice how it's slowing down and stuttering. Well, that is because this game was pushing the Super Nintendo to its limits back in its day. Now, eventually, they would become better as time went on. But it was, for its time, this had some of the largest sprite work and most impressive visuals that even in emulation to this day, the slowdown occurs. And you can't get away from it. It wasn't alone in that either. One of the other games I'll show you has the same issue. But Gradius is one of the best shooters in the market for this time frame, and if you have it, I absolutely recommend getting a copy of it if you don't have it. Now, moving on to another legendary shooter. This one is Contra Spirits. It's better known, however, under the name Contra 3 in America. Super Gryzor in other countries, X-Raza, all kinds of weird knockoffs came out of this game back in its day. Now this was among the first games I played on the Super Nintendo. It was actually a rental from Blockbuster. Now this is also one of the first games that included friendly fire, which pretty much everybody hated because it was dumb and stupid and there was no real reason for it. It also included different difficulty levels and different levels of lives, but you would only get the proper ending if you beat the game on the normal level or higher. Now this game earned a reputation for being one of the most, at the time, ridiculously beautiful games. And one of the things that made it stand out was the absolutely phenomenal gameplay, the insane visuals in the game itself, and the wide array of weapons that you could get. Also had a sense of humor, like the demon dog behind me. But one of the game's most unique features was that it did feature the Konami code, but it only gave you like a third of the lives you got in the original Contra, which I still need to get my hands on the original Contra. But there was an area right here where if I still had the homing, you could literally sit here with the homing and it would absolutely kill everything that got within range. Ah, look familiar, my friends? It should. It's the original level 1 boss from Contra 1. Except this time, it ain't even a boss. It's just an obstacle now. Oh, hello. I get a tank! A notably near invulnerable tank as well. Didn't mean to do that. Although this weapon is very useful for a later battle. Yeah, like here's a great example. The crash bomb does immense damage, and of course is naturally rapid firing, which makes it incredibly useful. Now you can double up on these weapons, and if you do, it is incredibly effective. fire and the flames we carry on. Now this game also introduced the grapple, climbing and rotational abilities that honestly kind of became standout in later iterations of the game series. Damn it. I can tell it's been a while. I don't remember how half this crap works anymore. Very nice. Spread gun. Damn it, I was supposed to jump. There, of course, is the Mega Bomb. Now, I'm not playing this to beat it or anything. I'm just playing it as a demonstration. Ooh, Nukeify. The first true boss of the game. Honestly, fairly easy to beat, and if I'm being honest, it wasn't that difficult, but it was still a great introduction to the game to get you started and show you, hey, this isn't just regular Contra. This is Super Contra. You better be ready for a fight. Now here's where this game deviated a little bit. It actually puts you in a level with the Mode 7 effect, where you actually fight from overhead and have to take out enemy bases all across the map. Which, admittedly, it was unique in that it changed up the game quite a bit, but also was in many ways a very difficult game. Because unless you memorize the game's layout or trajectories, you never knew what you were up against. And that could cause a lot of trouble, especially with some of the more difficult systems in the game. On the other hand, it was, for its time, one of the best games of its era. And still, in many ways, one of the best shooters ever produced by any company. Now, if you need to check the map, you can. It actually does allow you to check the map and reallocate and reorient yourself. But again, this is a game that was, for its time, undeniably difficult. And most of the time, beating it was a matter of either cheesing it, like I mentioned earlier with the homing missiles and getting basically infinite lives. Like you could actually, there were 2 sectors in the game where if you got high enough, stood on them and just held the button, you infinitely generated 1-ups. The downside to this was it was a time-consuming process. You could also just cheese it with the game Genie and get infinite lives, but I mean that was kind of the thing at the time. Was not everybody had the game Genie. Now the laser was unique in that it had a very short range, but it did continuous rapid damage on everything it touched. So if you hit it, it would die rapidly. But as I said, the game was incredibly fun, but very difficult. So yeah, That's Contra Spirits, or Contra 3. Now, we move on to what was one of the very first games I played other than Super Mario World, which, notably, I do not yet have in its original format. I only have Super Mario All-Stars. I still need to get my hands on Super Mario World, which is, unfortunately, way more expensive now than it ought to be. Ironically, I have Yoshi's Island. I don't have Super Mario World, of all things. Go figure, right? But anyway. But this was the other game one of my first games that I actually owned, and I got it used and cheap. And it was Super Tennis. An early example of the Mode 7 capacity of the game, of the platform itself. And what was notable was my name was actually in it. So, admittedly, don't look anything like that guy. We'll do one set real quick. Do it on a hard tarmac. Now, for the record, it has been literally 2 decades since I played this bloody game. So,
play.
There we go.
Ball.
But this was an actually fairly decent representation of tennis as a sport. Which, to be fair, wasn't ever really any good at, but... But what made this game really good was that it was... I remember, I think it was the Game Grumps playing that, and every time they did that little change out, the Game Grumps would be like, fuck you. Yes, fuck you very much.
Play.
Always better at defensive. Always better at defense than I was at offense, I guess. Oh, nice serve. He hit the net. Why didn't he get a net? Nice. Now, you could aim your shots when you returned. If you didn't, it just went in the most natural course that the ball would have taken. But you could aim your shots with this if you were careful and knew how to play. I'm getting a little bit of a feel. Oh, faulted. Double fault, and I win. Nice.
Deuce.
Deuce. That means that it's tie game, which means one of us has to score at least 2 to get a victory. If he gets another... Yep, he wins.
Play.
Damn it. Not fast enough. Got by him that time. But yeah, this was always a fun game, especially with friends. Damn it. Nicely done.
Play. Fault.
Oh,
Fault.
see, now he double faulted, which means I instantly get points on that. Oh, net, I get points on that too. Oh, nice, nice. Good spike on that one. Damn it. Missed her at the ball.
Fault.
Ooh.
Deuce.
I didn't react fast enough.
Play.
But yeah, for the most part, it's just tennis. Good, solid, simple tennis. I'm just awful at tennis, so. But still, it's a nostalgia trip for me and a reminder of a lot of the games I played as a kid. Trust me, when you get a brand new system and you've got 0 games for it, you'll do anything to get a game. And trust me, pawn shops, especially back then, were gold mines. Although admittedly, what was interesting is that actually became even more true later on, because eventually what would happen is the pawn shops would start discounting the Super Nintendo games when the PlayStation came along and started really making headway. So the PlayStation sort of wiped out the used game market for the Nintendo, and then it would eventually like blast back. But yeah, next we're gonna look at one of the early 3D arena fighters back from 1996, Bloody Roar. And this, everybody knows this game. Like, there's no two ways about it. If you played fighting games on the PlayStation era, you played this. Everybody did. Now you might say, well, what was Bloody Roar about? What made it so special? And what made it special was one of the features of the game was that every character had an alternate form that they could churn into under certain conditions. Like they start human, like this.
Get ready. Fight.
But now I'm transformed into the wolf. If you take too much damage without it, you get knocked back into your regular form and have to build up the beast form again. Thankfully, Yugo's the baseline super fighter. He's like just the baseline brawler. He's simple to learn, easy to pick up and master. Now, Bakururu is the more agile, energetic ninja character who gets replaced by one of his students later on in the series. Like, eat your ribs. Now, later games would add a super move ability that allowed you to actually, as I recall, it allowed you to actually, like, go berserk and just you know, rip and tear into everyone.
Get ready. Fight.
Now, granted, I'm not sure, but I think that's supposed to be a woman. To be fair, like, this was early PS1 era. It was sometimes hard to tell, but...
KO.
Like, let's be real, this is PS1 era. The modeling was kind of all over the place. Now, Rave Mode drains your beast power, but it also gives you a mammoth damage increase. So, like, you could get yourself a huge boost. You can get yourself a huge boost. And it would give you plenty of time to charge up.
KO. You win.
But like this was early PS1 era. But it was also like such a unique concept, like having two characters in one for each playable character. Now granted, the character's moveset didn't change in Beast Mode. They did gain some new techniques, but in general their moveset was still the same. What you did get was an extra set of beast maneuvers. For example, the wolf gets claws, slashes, and bites. The lion gets similar moves, but he also gets pounces and other moves. And you, of course, get a damage boost when you're transformed.
Get ready. Fight.
And I remember Gato being a very hard opponent.
KO.
But in fairness, all of them were pretty difficult if you didn't know how to play. Strangely, I do remember some of the moves for this, so it's familiar. Oh yeah.
Get ready. Fight.
Now that is notably the actual, like, player one you go. Depending upon what button you pressed, the characters would be a different color scheme. So, woohoo. Nice, he broke me out of it. Oh, OTG'd my ass.
Get ready. Fight.
Now, to be fair, this game was a bit of a buggy and unbalanced mess because it was such an early... It was so early on in the PlayStation's lifespan. If you knew how you could basically make it work. You can basically make it work as a great two-player, single-player fighting game if you knew how to make it work. The maneuvers were easy. The moveset wasn't too complicated. The biggest complaint I ever had about this game was just that it felt like it was a prototype. Like they were testing the waters, and once they saw how successful this was, they actually said, "All right, yeah, let's do a proper follow-up," and that's Bloody Roar 2, which is arguably, like, it's one of my favorite fighters, and I'm still trying to run a copy down. Believe it or not, this series is now very expensive due to fairly limited availability. Ah, got me. I want to get past him just so I can get to... Because I think Alice is next. Now, one thing this game did have was unlimited continues.
You go. Get ready. Fight.
Now, one of the things that the Beast Mode did actually give was it created strategy, because you could go Beast Mode when they went Beast Mode to try and give yourself an even playing field, or you could try and fight through, and if you fought through and knocked them out Beast Mode, you could then go into Beast Mode and have an advantage.
Get ready. Fight.
See, now he's trying to save up so that he can go full Beast Mode on me in the next round and just like obliterate me. Man, it has been a hot minute. I have not played this in a long damn time. Funny thing was, is I picked this up the other day on eBay, and it got delivered, but I was busy with work, so I never got a chance to Oh, nice move. I think I'm gonna lose this one again. Oh, maybe not. Got him back. Oh, nice counter. I'm gonna keep trying though. I want to at least get to Alice, because she's one of the funniest characters in the game. It's also actually exceptionally good. Like when this came out, she was one of the best characters because she had a few moves that just like broken. Down you go. Gonna eat you alive.
Get ready. Fight.
I think I got you this time. Yeah. Flying Claw.
You win.
Oh, no, Greg. What was Greg? I don't remember what Greg was. Oh, yeah, he was the strong man.
Get ready. Fight.
He was this game's grappler. Which, depending upon who you played, that made him super easy to deal with because his moveset was very powerful but super limited. Yeah, he turns into a giant silverback gorilla. How many men does it take to beat a gorilla? Doesn't. It takes a giant wolf. right outside the arena. Bye-bye.
You win.
Long. Long is actually the character I mastered back when this first came out. Long the Tiger. Much more traditional, like Kung Fu inspired fighting style. Very fast, very agile, very effective. He's also like one of the big rivals to Yugo because his fighting style is a direct counterpoint to Yugo's.
Get ready. Fight.
Damn it, I can't ever get that combo. Because I know that move has a combo on it. And if you time it right, you can actually combo off of it. I can never get the landing right. And I love that they actually bleed in this game. Mitsuko. Alice was his last opponent? I didn't remember that.
Get ready. Fight.
Oh yeah, the steel worker. Like, she's like the heavy brawler. Like, she's the powerhouse of the game. Not Zangief, more like Sagat. Sagat, but not as fast. And she turns into, I think it's a warthog, yeah. Now, she's hard to fight because she's powerful. And while her combos are kind of limited, the ones she does have do enormous damage. Yeah, she turns into like a big hog or a warthog or something. She also has like one of the... She's also hardest of the characters to break out of beast mode because she has a hard knockdown issue. I'm actually, with Long, I used to be able to just no-diff her at all. You know, just like wipe the floor with her almost instantly. Not quite as such with Yugo because I'm just not used to him as much as I was Long. But I do remember her fighting style. Oh no. No, no. Ow. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh. So it's straight up fight now, is it? Oh, what a fight.
You go.
And I still have one game I want to show you after this.
Get ready. Fight.
So this is going to be a long video.
Out of my way.
And there we go. Got her.
Get ready. Fight.
Tear your liver out. Alright, here we go, Alice. Yeah, Alice was interesting. Interesting. She's like the most traditionally feminine of the characters. And then you see her beast form. Now, she's actually very good. She's exceptionally fast and has a bunch of really cool kung fu moves that make her hard to predict. She is a lightweight, but there she is. The bunny is back. Yep, she literally turns into a bunny girl. And not just a bunny girl, like, she knows it. She, like, half her taunts are her teasing you. That being said, tease or not, Miss Bunny Girl here is an absolute monster. She has some of the best combos in the game, and hands down, one of the fastest movesets. Love her moveset. That being said, she does have a lower, like, health pool. Like, she seems to take more damage even from basic attacks than some of the other characters. That being said, yeah, see, like, that's like a quarter of her health just got obliterated.
Get ready. Fight.
Rave time. And the reason Rave is so good is because it instantly boosts all your damage, even if you have no beast mode left, but with the initial transformation. So, like, it can be very helpful to give you that early burst of damage if you need it. See? Look at that shit. Fucking flying on my ass. Yeah, like I said, Alice is absolutely one of the best characters in the game. And the fact that she literally turns into a bunny girl is super hilarious to me. But I love it. It's like, it's so fitting. It's like, yeah, bunny girl, Alice in Wonderland. We all get the joke. Unless you're an illiterate idiot or some freaking kid with no literacy in your life, you get the joke about the Alice in Wonderland gag here. Not quite as you anticipate. Got her. Wall bounced her too.
Get ready. Fight.
But yeah, of all the characters, she's definitely the most traditionally femme, and like she's supposed to be like a rough and tumble Japanese like high schooler, and it's like that's something I'd expect out in like the cornfields of Kansas with that outfit. Although I'd expect someone to be wearing a little bit longer shorts. Just saying. Out you go. Got her. Sorry, didn't mean to eat your liver, just sorry. And of course, Yuriko was the final opposition. I don't remember the story here, it's just like she's some sort of absolute like demon. Like, supposed to be the absolute most powerful biological creature ever created. And, like her transformation is that she actually goes from a child to an actual adult. Now there's the actual demon. And like literally, no, this is not a joke. This is an actual literal demon. So anyway, that's what I wanted to show you for this. I'm not really interested in being the arcade mode at the moment. But the next thing I wanted to show you is a game I recently picked up that, honestly, if I'm being frank, I didn't know this existed either until it popped up in a feed of Japanese import games I was looking through. This is Tatsunoko Fight. Now, you may be familiar with the game that came out on the Wii called Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Well, Tatsunoko is a legendary anime house that made a lot of really cool anime back in the early days. This was released in 2000, right along the edge of the waning days of the PlayStation 1. Some sort of anniversary event, I guess. I don't know. But like this was released right near the end of that existence. So hopefully it actually works with this platform. It installed, so I assume it would work, but who knows? Maybe not. If not, I'll have to figure out something else. It's probably going to need a patch, but yeah, great. Seems like it's not kicking over. Ah, dang it. And I didn't actually have time to test this. It installed okay, so yeah, this is supposed to be like a fighting game, but for some reason, I haven't been able to get it to kick over. Also, you know the Dynasty Warriors series? You know it started as a fighting game? Yeah, it started as a fighting game. Just out of nowhere, started as a fighting game. I don't know why. But yeah, like this game, I really want to try and get this to work. Let's see if we can get this thing running. If not, no biggie. I'll sort it out, see if maybe it needs a patch or something. Still, for PS1 games, it should be pretty instantaneous to run and install, so. Yeah, looks like this game has some sort of glitch or hiccup in it. I'll figure it out. Sorry, I was hoping to show that for you, but I guess that's not going to happen today. Bummer. I'll try and figure out the Tatsunoko fight and figure out if there's something going wrong here, but yeah, it definitely is one of those games I'm looking forward to testing out and seeing if I can get going. It comes from the same ideas of like the Rival Schools series. It was 2 years after this, so it kind of came from that same era where the 2D 3D fighting game was really sort of blowing up. Alongside this game, which was the second Psychic Force game, which came 2 years after the original Psychic Force, which are among my favorites. Weird as they are, they're some of the best fighting games ever, simply because of how unique they are. Then you got stuff like Kensai Sacred Fist, which, honestly, like, if I'm being frank, it's a good fighting game, but it takes some real getting used to. Battle Assault, Hydro Thunder. If you never played Hydro Thunder in the arcade, I don't know what your life was like, because that was the hypest shit. But like, this is what I love about the Polymega, is like 99% of these games, despite their age, work right out the gate. Then you run into the occasional game where it glitches or has problems, and that's unfortunately, like, that's kind of just the reality with this technology. But I'll figure it out. But yeah, I wanted to just share some more of my retro gaming goodness with you. I've got some more coming, including a test I'm going to do on I want to test a reproduction cartridge on the Polymega to see if it will actually run like recreation units, and if it does, then we know that this thing has more capacity than we thought. But for now, I'm gonna call it a day for this. Then I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to my PC because there's something new I want to share that I've been having a lot of fun with. But anyway, I'll see you guys then. This is Solo Gamer. You may call me Matt. Signing out.